City sidewalks, snowy sidewalks. It is Christmas time now. Okay, I'm feeling energized, back after a quick break, ready to hop back into the world of gaming news. What's going on? Concord still? Alright, my vow to you is that we won't talk about Concord every week. It's just a launching off point today. Thing is, this game is still a historical failure. No game has ever failed as thoroughly as Concord has. And that still fascinates me. Previously on the Concord saga, after the game had been on sale for just 2 weeks, game director Ryan Ellis said this: "While we determine the best path ahead, Concord sales will cease immediately." It almost felt like it would be up to the studio itself to determine what would happen with Concord, and yet 58 days later, Sony comes out to say, actually, no, we're shutting that whole studio down. We don't want it anymore. I guess to be fair, there is this sentence: "We will work to find placement for some of those impacted within our global community of studios where possible." Which, I don't know, it doesn't seem that promising. By the way, that's Herman Hulst, CEO of Studio Business Group, writing that letter. The guy with the nice jackets. Stands in contrast to last week when the news spread that the team behind Prince of Persia: The Lost Crown was being disbanded, and then Ubisoft contacted Eurogamer to say that the game's team were still present and busy at development studio Ubisoft Montpellier, albeit now on other projects that will benefit from their expertise. And I guess you could consider that semi-generous. It's Ubisoft's way of saying, no, that team will never work together again, no, there will never be a Lost Crown sequel, but all those people get to keep their jobs. Also, when I was searching for that story, I did find this official Ubisoft news post, how Prince of Persia made its double comeback in 2024. And they just published that on Halloween. That's new. Ubisoft, if you're gonna cancel a sequel, don't call it a comeback. Much less a double comeback. Anyway, Firewalk was not Sony's only studio closure this week. They also used this opportunity to close down Neon Koi, which, if you've never heard of before, it kind of makes sense. They've never announced a single game before. Here's what Herman had to say about that one. "While mobile remains a priority growth area for the studio business, we are in the very early stage of our mobile efforts. To achieve success in this area, we need to concentrate on titles that are in line with PlayStation Studios' pedigree and have the potential to reach more players globally. With this refocused approach, Neon Koi will close, and its mobile action game will not be moving forward." It's a dry and probably unnecessary way of simply stating that, in their eyes, the game this studio is working on is just not good enough. Probably something that could have remained private. And I guess they figured if they're going through all the HR paperwork with Firewalk, they might as well snip that one at the same time too. I guess because I'm kind of a dark person, I was looking at the press release from when Sony had acquired Neon Koi just 2 years ago. They were called Savage Game Studios at the time. And by the way, still hadn't made a single video game at that point. I just imagine some people are just very good in meetings. You know, so Herman Hulst was across the table and had his fingertips touching each other and nodding and saying, "This guy's good." There's a funny part in this release where Mikhail Katkov, the CEO and co-founder, kind of intimates that he knows this looks bad. So why then, you may be asking yourself, would you join PlayStation Studios? We made this deal because we believe that PlayStation Studios leadership respects our vision for how we can best operate and succeed. And because they too are not afraid to take chances. All of that plus the ability to potentially tap into PlayStation's amazing catalog of IP. And the fact that we will benefit from the kind of support only they can provide. The harder question to answer would be, why not? Is that still a hard question? That guy incidentally left last year. He's fine. Don't worry about him. So let's pull up my favorite Sony Studios chart. It looks like we're going to have to add a couple of red X's to this, but surely that's the end of it. Not related, but semi-related. Nintendo over the last couple of weeks introduced a couple of new products that are centered around their IP. First is Alarmo. Alarmo is an alarm clock for Nintendo fans who sleep alone and have a really hard time getting out of bed. You would think that I would be the target for such a product. But look how it berates you with noise to get you up. But here's my actual biggest problem with this product in particular, is that there's no default mode. There's no Alarmo mode that is just normal noises to wake you up. All of them, everything in this thing is attached to a Nintendo IP, meaning they either didn't think this thing could stand on its own, or they truly just want every intimate aspect of your life to be attached to, ingrained with some sort of Nintendo franchise. And that's what creeps me out. I don't want to bring the Pikmin into the bedroom. And then just announced this week, even more perplexing perhaps, Nintendo Music. As you can probably surmise, it's a Spotify-like app that you use to listen to music from Nintendo games. Cynically, I think this new thing exists just as a method for Nintendo to control and protect its musical IP. It's a new bonus to their Nintendo Online subscription, so it's not free, but you are paying for it, so legally Nintendo can say, we charge for this, and that entity that is giving away our music for free doesn't. We're protected legally. That's my guess. So what's funny then about this thing that nobody really asked for is how they attempt to advertise it to you. So there's a series where they show real Nintendo adults listening in their everyday lives. It's got somebody shopping with the Wii shopping music. I think that's a good sell. Over here listening to Ocarina of Time music when you're doing homework like the Lo-Fi Girl. This is nice. But then they've kind of run out of examples and they start to make me feel crazy. And I feel like they also illustrate just how stupid this thing is. That's not laundry folding music. This one takes the cake for me. You have to be a stone cold lunatic to listen to Dr. Mario music as you exercise. Quick observational aside, doesn't it seem like that particular rope exercise is like there's a sudden surge in popularity? I feel like when you're watching somebody exercise in a gym these days, in a movie or TV or especially commercials, they're doing the ropes, the battle ropes. I had to Google it. It's like, what are those ropes called? They're called battle ropes. I feel like, yeah, I'm not saying like people don't do that in real life. I'm saying it's disproportionate. I'm saying there are more people doing squats right now on the planet right now than there are people flapping ropes. But also, I kind of get it. If you're a director, you want something that's visually pleasing to the audience. Seen some people like do some sine waves with some ropes? It looks nice. This has been a quick observational aside. Anyway, I do think the Nintendo Music app, while it is narrow in its appeal and mostly unnecessary, is something that Nintendo is uniquely positioned to pull off. What I'm saying is that there couldn't be a PlayStation Music app. It wouldn't work. You couldn't have a commercial like this where people are listening to Ratchet and Clank tracks. It wouldn't make sense. So while Sony has proven that they are willing and able to spend hundreds of millions of US dollars shotgunning disposable franchises to see what sticks, I still feel like they're decades behind. They're like, I mean, there's Astrobot, but they need 18 more Astrobots before they catch up. Sega could do it. Make a music app, I'm saying. You could legitimately have like a pretty nice Sega music app. Honestly, like it could just be mostly Sonic music and you got a few good workouts from that. And that's delayed input for this week. I'll be back next week. Thanks for watching. What are you listening to?
Nintendo Music.
So like what though?
It's an app. It's called Nintendo Music.
You got a whole separate app for that?
Yeah.
Oh, cool. So I guess it's got like every Nintendo song ever on there.
Nah, it's more like less than 2%.
Is it free?
No.
So why are you doing that?
Listen, it's gonna change your life.
It's good. I like it.